to it when we're not here.
So that's how that thing works. And it only points at me. So the viewing audience is
You're the spokesperson.
spokesperson,
You have all the looks.
spokesmodel.
So,
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
I don't know. If you got it, flaunt it.
Especially when you're in yellow.
Yeah.
Can we
I know.
tell everybody to
Color
go to the
code.
window and scream, Minnesota?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
If there's anybody listening.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, they're just on there to look at Jeff, you know?
Yep. That's right.
There he is.
This ministry's not going anywhere. I got nothing new. What's on your mind? Unless you want an introductory comment, I'm sure I could come up with one. But it would be bullshit.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves, yeah.
It seems to like to beat the shit out. It's like you have to throw in the towel. There has to be TKO or some kind of serious towel throwing where you're just like, I just can't. I'm just okay.
Yeah.
It will just beat you up in any direction possible until you throw.
Yeah. It's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and you always lose.
Oh, I know, but not even like it. Like you know, it's like great. You're like, I'm obviously not winning, but I'm not losing. It's just I'm definitely not winning. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
How
just,
do you know you're not winning?
it's just too arbitrary. Like there is no, there's no winning. There's no losing. The whole thing's just
Yeah.
one. You know, I mean. In a day, I could win or lose, I don't know, 80 different times in a million different ways.
Yeah.
While being twisted like a pretzel, and you know.
Yeah.
You're like, ah.
I seem to not be able to screw up my job no matter what. You know,
Mm.
actually, it's just sort of like
And you keep
almost
trying.
getting comical. I didn't do something, and it sounded like they were gonna like pull something that I needed to do my job.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do it. And
Yeah.
I flunked it twice, and in the end, they were like, "No, as it turns out, you didn't need that." I'm like,
Yeah.
I can like flunk the test twice, and
Wow.
as it turns out, I didn't need it.
It's like Jeff Bridges in that movie when the airplane went down.
Exactly, fearless. I love that.
Was that it? Right?
Fearless, it was
And he
great.
could even eat strawberries, right?
Yep. That was
Yeah.
such a cool
And he had been
movie.
allergic or something.
Ah, lethally allergic to them, yeah.
Yeah, when it came down from his eye, he couldn't eat strawberries.
So that's what you got.
I think I do.
Hmm.
And like a day will like I'll think I can't do this another minute and I can't bear to make it through this day. Fuck it, I'm just leaving and
Yeah, sure.
I use my vacation and then stuff comes up and it pulls me through the day and I finish out my week. I don't know how this happens.
Right. Yeah, well, everything's running like that, isn't it?
It is.
The whole show is running like
It
that.
is.
Yeah.
The only way I can lose is if I don't think it should be the way it seems to be.
Well, you lose when you have even the
Interest.
slightest hint of an idea.
Yes.
That's when you lose.
Yes.
Yeah, because you go immediately into an arbitrary, exotic, virtual reality that includes self,
You start
and
to
you're
tell-
done.
You start to tell a lot of stories about it. You start to go into the future. I've
Yeah.
had some very interesting conversations lately, and the only thing I know is that it's coming through me. That's all I know. I can't know anything beyond it. All I know is just what seems to be coming through. Like,
Yeah. Right.
you know, you're screwed when you start to watch yourself to tell, like, sort of to figure out maybe what the answer is because you don't know, and you're supposed to be running this show.
Well, that's the life coach. You're looking for some kind of authority because you kind of realize you don't have any. I don't have any authority, and you're fond of being done with authority, which that's a big day. When you're fond of being done with authority, that's a very big day. But you could say there's still the habit of looking to consciousness, to your own mind, to your own imagination, to your own conditioning, or perhaps to the authority of others, so that someone will kindly tell us what the fuck is going on.
Well, with others, it's almost like I want to apologize, like, and explain or something, like, really, if I could do this differently, maybe I would, but I don't know, like, this is all I got.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to your normal person.
Yeah, you're Gumby without wires. Yeah, so you can't even hold your arms like that because you don't have any wires. You just.
I can enjoy what's here, that's for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Enjoy it a lot.
Yes. Why not? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with enjoyment.
I think we need to talk about the Dura Mater a little more.
The Dura Mater, definitely.
I wasn't there, but I listened to that one. It was
The
great.
Loca thing too. Remember that? What was that? Sita Loca. What the heck is that?
Siddha Loka.
Yeah.
That's Siddhartha's brother.
Yeah.
It's like living La Vida Loca. Right?
Oh, right.
But no, what is Sita Loca?
What is it? Sounds like a strange sexual act.
No, it's
Well, in the Kashmiri tradition, which was you could say kind of popularized and commercialized by Muktananda and Shid Vilasananda, his protege, who was ruthless. That's, Siddha, Sydha or whatever, Siddha Yoga.
Oh, like Sita Yoga. I see.
Yeah, so Siddha, Siddha is,
Like a city?
the root's the same, right?
Yeah, those
Right. They used to call those practitioners Siddha yogis, right? That whole kind of a Kashmiri thing. But in the hands of Nityananda, Siddha Yoga or Siddha Loka made a certain kind of sense because he was, a truly transcendent human, demonstrably transcendent human. You're like, this is not human. I don't know who this is. Take a knee, shut the fuck up. But, as that kind of pristine demonstration passed through the hands of Muktananda and then his, those that followed, then it became, absurdly commercialized. And of course, the excuse is always, we'll commercialize it, so that the West, because that's their appetite. And you're like, no, you're commercializing it to, fill your own.
And that's why Ricky Martin wrote that song.
That's right, La Vida Loca. That's why he wrote the song. He was a devotee, I think, of Shid Vilasananda, as was John Denver, who died in an accidental plane crash, probably under the influence of alcohol or something. It all comes around.
Never hire those alcoholic pilots. They don't do
No. Sometimes they can get you out of a pinch, but
Denzel Washington in that one.
that's right.
Yeah,
It worked that day.
it worked that day. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. That's right. It worked that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, inhabiting experience as self is the default, you could say default condition, the default hysteria, occupying experience as self. That's what creates and suggests the world. And that's what all the fuss is about. Occupying experience, the myth, the nature, the texture, the ruminating nature of experience, occupying it as self or from the vantage point of self, that's what creates the world. Otherwise, there's no world.
But you wonder, how people would have, memories of being a baby, because you wouldn't have the verbal skills, so there would be no one there to articulate it in words to encode it into memory.
Nice, what fun, yeah. But the texture is there, right?
Yeah, I guess
The imprint,
there.
the texture, the imprint, right,
It would be
of
like-
conscious contact
Yeah.
is there. And that cellular engagement, you
Yeah.
could say, is reminisced down the road
Yeah,
as who knows what,
yeah.
right? An event, an experience, something happened to me, even though the infant may have indeed been pre-verbal.
Yeah.
And, later on, the verbal skills were able, as we are able to articulate apparent meaning through barking noises
Yeah.
without, so if you have a memory, even a pre-verbal memory, you can turn that into an event with, you know,
You could.
with no hesitation.
And aren't there some beliefs too? I mean, I know that this is not our focus here, but like, you know, you come in and
Yeah.
you have memory of a past life or something.
Yeah,
like
past
that,
life, right.
Until
Sure.
a certain age, and then you lose that or something.
Okay, I mean,
I mean,
the past life researchers, yeah, you know, I mean, people make a living doing past life regression,
Yeah,
right?
like the kid who remembered something very specific.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, you know, hopefully that's not, I mean, it's done for entertainment purposes, or, you know, it's sold as a healing device.
Well, kids do, like little kids do say weird things that you're like, how do you know that?
Yes, right, right.
You pick it up on the internet.
Well, it's funny. We might think that knowledge is, you know, individualized or
Yeah.
learned or acquired, and then stored, however it's stored in the what would you call them? The cubby holes that define your experience.
Yeah, like,
Nobody knows what that is.
and here we always come up with these vocabulary words we didn't know we knew. So
Yeah.
obviously that's not true, right?
Yeah, right. So there is that, you know,
Yeah.
thanks to Rupert Sheldrake's
Yeah.
contribution of, you know, a morphic resonant
Yeah.
reality underlying what we think is the reality of willful endeavor, then knowledge is okay.
Yeah.
I mean, why did Bruno back in the, whenever that was, you know, the 1600s or something, when, you know, Neil Donald Tyson, whatever his name is, right,
Yeah.
start re-upped the,
Crossy or-
yeah. So Bruno had the revelation of the Hubble deep field. He saw, don't ask me how, you know, what it took us so many centuries or you know, years later for the Hubble deep field on a, you know, a square inch of sky to see that it was just jam-packed with more universes than you could have counted or put on the head of a pin. And he was like, he saw that, you know, and he spoke about it. He said, no, it's just universes upon universes upon universes and has no end. And that's what, you know, the creation is. I mean, he went right off the flat planet thing and the, you know, Earth centrism thing. And he went right into, you know, let's say the sun as a solar vortex for this planetary, you know, or solar system. And then, you know, woof, went right out. And they, you know, they eventually killed him. It was like, that was too much. Well, yeah, no, he would, yeah. Yeah, well, after you've seen that, you're telling everybody, you know. Yeah.
They're like, we're gonna kill you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, it's like making out with Morgan Fairchild. You're going to tell everybody.
You're dating yourself.
I know. I could go earlier.
Myself in that situation. Like, don't talk about Night Sky Saga or anything related. And like, I
We
find
saw-
myself talking, and I'm like,
Yeah.
We saw, what movie did we see? Oh, the Nice Guys movie. You know, kind of a film noir with Russell Crowe and
Oh, okay.
Mickey Mouse, the Mickey Mouse guy. And there was an actress in that film that I kind of recognized but didn't recognize. And after the movie, Beth told me it was who was the gal in 9.5 Weeks?
Oh, Kim Basinger.
It was Kim Basinger,
Yeah.
and I was like, I missed it.
She like got that old looking.
No, she was whoever was on the screen was lovely and attractive and engaging, but it just made no connection at all. Yeah, that was kind of funny.
She hasn't been around for anything this year.
She was in The Hole in the Floor. That was a good film. That was with Jeff Bridges too.
I don't know that I saw one.
That was-
Sounds familiar.
It was cool.
Yeah. What was it about?
That was spooky.
Their marriage fell apart because one of their children
Um,
was injured or lost their life in a
I usually-
car accident in a snowstorm.
Yeah.
So it was this incredible,
Yeah.
cool, weird tension. and he hires some young kid to help him as a writer or something, and to kind of be a a companion for her, or a boy toy, or God knows what. So yeah, it's just all that.
I don't think I read
That was
book.
cool stuff. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Thanks.
My only choice for snacks.
If your only choice is an apple, you may as well have it.
Well, you know, I was craving that.
Nan used to bring all the snacks. It's a problem now. She just brings apples and grapes.
Quantities too.
Oh
Here
man.
we are. Nice guy Sangha eating the apple. A forbidden apple.
I've
Now
got
we're
religion
screwed.
here. Cleaned it up. Pink lady, my favorite.
Huh?
Pink lady.
We become you could say, intoxicated with the mirage of possessing magical powers, and we want to make shit better, feel things differently, occupy our experience in a more profound or pleasing way, make sure that we're chock full of novelty and willpower and decision making that we can optimize. And that's a big fat lie.
Yeah, we're like really messing with the publishing industry.
I know. It would.
It's kind of fun to go belly up and just enjoy the ride. It is much better to enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
But it can seemingly get hairy sometimes, but you just gotta breathe. Realize nothing to do. Just let it go.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you could pull that off,
Good luck, man. Whatever adrenaline is,
right?
or getting excited about something, or whatever it is,
Mhm.
I don't know. But that's a powerful drug, whatever that is. And when it gets hold of you, I mean, I don't know, right? And whatever it is, it's just obvious to see that, like when a kind of transmutation and consciousness, whatever it is, comes in regardless of whether you want it there or not. Completely on its own.
Yeah.
There's no,
That's right.
you do whatever you do to manage it, I guess.
That's right.
Like
do whatever you do,
spontaneously.
and then you give yourself advice afterwards.
And then you give yourself advice about how you could have done it better or worse. Or next time you'll do it better.
Yourself.
'Cause it's always bad.
Yeah.
Never quite get it right.
If you could come up with, a winning strategy that would obey you, then deploy it. Good luck.
Just gonna get tossed around.
Yeah, and the myth of pursuing or deploying a winning strategy is merely the continuity of more suffering, more confusion.
Well, I think you see very clearly, you begin to see very clearly that that's not actually what you want. So that kind of dissipates in some weird way.
Well, this is curious. When what we think we want is fucked.
Yeah, it's bad.
And what we place incredible confidence in what we think we want, whether it's amelioration from shit that's going south, or something that will feed us and make us happier, better, more secure. But if you take a look at what it is you think you want, and that impulse coming out of the snake pit of conditioning that you're made up of, you're like, wait. Don't ask me what I want.
Let's back away slowly and try to
Yeah.
get some sobriety first so we can even begin to assess what we might want.
Yeah, back away slowly with your back toward the door and run out of there. Yeah. I mean, you can see the engine of so much seeking, casual and, not so casual seeking, or pleasure seeking or spiritual seeking. It's all the same. It doesn't matter, right?
There's the desire to be free, and there's a desire to have, right?
Yeah.
In other words, they're more adversely
Yes.
kind of. We just want to-
That's right. Well, early on, we associate the desire to have as a vehicle for being free, right? That's, you know, you want to satisfy that kind of deep impulse for not self, that deep semi, if not unconscious impulse for not self, but you're not aware of not self quite yet. So from the vantage point of self, you want what it is you think you want, which will approximate cessation. And that's usually through accumulation.
Go shopping.
Yeah, whatever. Right. Running the world, if you've got that kind of, if you come from that kind of family.
Most of us just go shopping.
Yeah, go shopping is
Go
cool.
shopping. Maybe get some
Avoid being
drugs.
hassled.
Yeah,
Shopping for drugs, shopping for clothes, whatever.
yeah. Hassle avoidance is,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's good too. Thank you. Hassle avoidance is another good one.
Good for you. Thanks.
But what's anyone looking for? You go see Wayne Dyer, or you go see Byron Katie, or you go see Kaylee Marino, or you come to this fucking talk. I'm like, yeah. What? Really? What?
What is it about your consciousness that jumps to things that seem to be recalled as pleasing? And then like this is pleasing. I love hanging out with this group. It's like my mind will go, oh, thank God, I'm going to Night Sky on Thursday. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to go touch it. Just like in my regular day, I'm like, oh, I got something good to touch in the future.
Yeah.
Not real, but it seems kind of comforting.
Sure. That's right.
I'm beside myself. I'm not getting the emails. That's like, fuck,
No.
gotta get plugged back in. Gotta get the shakes. Almost called you today to help get me shut
Oh my
up.
God. We'll have to shut it down just so you don't miss
Internet
anything.
hiatus. It's not cool.
Mm.
I'm gonna Google search. No, I'm not. Oh. No.
The misery that we don't see is the misery of presumption and confidence that we have about what we might refer to as reality. That's the suffering. We have presumptive confidence about what we refer to as reality. And now we're going to walk through it, swim through it, operate through it as self, as a physical being with an opposable thumb, a neocortex, and the great good fortune of self-will, self-determinism. And you're done. That's it. You're done.
This landlord guy asked me why I thought everyone was so miserable. That would have been a great answer. I
No,
didn't really have the.
really, it's like, I don't know.
Sum it up. It.
Yeah, why do you think everyone's so miserable?
Misappropriation.
Misappropriation of consciousness. That's a good one.
Well,
It's a very
I just thought it was
succinct.
Bunyan's.
It's nice.
Yeah, bunions.
no, make you miserable.
If you could ask the question, what is it that's actually happening? What is actually happening? What? And of course, you could spend the rest of your life reciting all the things you've heard up to this point. And you could spend the rest of your life adding new ideas and conclusions about what it is that's happening, why it means what it means to you, and what you plan on doing or not doing about it to optimize your happiness, joy, ascension, spiritual longings. I don't know. Once you get trapped in the original presumption that something is happening, now you're fucked, because you're going to figure out with no effort what it is that's happening. You've got answers for what it is that's happening.
Make up imaginary ways you can
And
win.
you'll make up imaginary solutions and strategies to how you can participate in what it is that you think is happening. They are done. I mean, that's it.
Just like playing an imaginary game with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just claymation, and you ran out of film a long time ago.
Left, there's no nothing.
Yeah. So being, unadulterated being, this is unadulterated being. It's not missing anything. Not missing anything. It doesn't have a conclusion or a storyline. It's not relying on particle physics or relativity. It's just not. But the moment there's self, which is the, impersonal, involuntary presentation of individuation, then you're just loaded with stories and explanations and the puffery of your lovely persona. And the things that turn you on and don't turn you on. That's it. I mean, it's a bacterium. It's like mycelium. Humans on the surface of the earth is like a mycelium. It just looks very dynamic because it's highly pixelated, and you can build machines that can make machines that can make machines. So you're like, well, we can.
Yourself into a machine at the same time.
Then you can turn yourself into a machine. That's right. You can go to Mars. I don't know if you'll make it, but you can. But you can
go to Mars.
You can leave any day now.
It's not a good location.
Yeah, really. Location.
That's not where you want to go.
No.
Not water places.
That would be going backwards, I think.
Right.
It's a dead planet.
The investment, the reflexive investment that we place in either wanting to ameliorate suffering or contributing to a better way of being in the future. That's it. You're done.
How do you see that you never were though?
How do you see it?
Yeah.
That you never were?
Yeah.
That's a fun
Never
one.
were what?
Yeah.
Never were anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look at what it is that you rely upon, right? The effulgence that appears in and as experience. What is it that you rely upon to convince yourself that you are presently someone, or that you've been somewhere, someone? What are you relying
Well,
upon?
multiple, hallucinations of
Mm-hmm.
vision and auditory and,
Yep. Yep.
proprioception,
Uh-huh. That's right.
Original
Yep.
attention seeking,
Yep.
hallucination.
Right. And all of that.
Very convincing.
And all of that is not the byproduct of a sense of self, nor is it contributory to what we're calling a sense of self. They're the same.
Say that again, Jeff?
They're the same.
Hot.
Yeah. I know. The brain cells work a little slower when it's hot.
I sweat, therefore I am.
Yeah, I sweat, therefore I am. The Buddhists and other silly groups like that, they try to proclaim that they know why there is dukkha, right, or suffering, samsara, right? But they don't. They don't know. They can't know. It's not possible, because this isn't causal. Present experience is not causal. It's not the consequence of anything. Certainly not the Big Bang.
I know we've been here before, but karma is not the consequence of anything? It's
No.
just a random number generator or something?
No, that's too much.
That's too much.
Yeah, that's too much. You see, this has to become something.
Hallucinate your karma into existence.
Yeah, this has to become something in order to, benefit from the notion of karma.
Well, we talk in those terms sometimes, or somebody's karma.
We're absurd. We'll talk in any terms. Yeah, don't look to us for anything. In terms of, reliable terms. Forget that shit.
Just a sort of,
Uh,
I hate to say it's just happening, but.
if it is, it is.
Well,
She doesn't have a.
Come on, you have to be like, it's just happening.
She doesn't have a trademark on. It's just happening. You can use it too.
You can't just say like in Italian, that's no.
Yeah, you can say it in Italian with using your hands.
Yeah, you could do it like,
Right.
it's just happening.
That's right.
Pasta fagioli, it's just happening.
But you see that it's funny that it's just happening is, it's too late, right? It's just happening again suggests what? What does it suggest? That this, whatever this is just happening. Okay.
Thanks.
It's not that helpful.
Gold star.
It's not that helpful.
Karma is pure myth, right? So.
Go under.
Yeah.
Karma's like, that's like total fucking myth. That's up here myth.
Yeah.
Bring it in. We're so close that here's present experience, irrefutable as it may be. Present experience, irrefutable as it may be. What the fuck? It's myth. its myth or anything that's felt or said about it or any vehicle to operate in it from the point of view of, call it, personal aggrandizement of one kind of another is all myth. So the consciousness itself is made of delusion. Forget about karma, dharma, the bodhisattva vows. That's like, what, are you kidding me? That shit you buy at a county fair after you throw a ring over a rabbit's, a fuzzy bear's head. It's nothing.
Consciousness is made of delusion.
Consciousness is made of delusion. Yeah.
Paper.
But it does seem like we're here.
Well,
Down here.
you can report that way, but if you look at what you're really presuming to say, you don't really know. And so it kind of makes sense that we're here. But that may not be true.
Well, it just seems like, okay, if it's a giant hallucination, it's one we take very seriously.
Well, okay, so that's
More
right.
serious than others.
Yeah.
That's right.
It doesn't.
Experiencing is.
I mean, we still like to turn on our TV, even though we know there's nothing there, like there.
Well, sure, you like to get up in the morning and, spruce up. Go out there and make a living.
Just put one foot in front of the other. It's a slog.
Yeah, it's a total slog,
I put
yeah.
on a tie-dye shirt and just try to get out the door, but
Really?
whatever.
Really? Should I light up? Nah. Well,
Yeah,
maybe,
no,
but
maybe
no.
I can
But it's
wait till
morning.
noon.
Well,
Wait
yeah,
till
fuck it.
noon.
Fuck it, yeah. I'll go out for breakfast. It'll be great. It'll be great.
Bless you.
And then halfway through breakfast, you're gonna stay over yet. I think I need to get one. It's going good for a minute.
What was it? If you did, in one of the writings I was reading, it was like if you're walking along the beach and a bottle rolls in at your feet and there's a genie in it and you rub it and he pops out, the minute you have any faith that you actually want something, you're screwed.
Oh, yeah. Throw the bottle back in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fucking genie. Anybody want this? Anybody? I'm going once, going twice. See ya, pal. Yeah.
What if it's food? We like food.
Well, banquet for 20.
Yeah. it is.
Thanks, Jeannie.
Thanks.
As ephemera, emptiness masquerading as ephemera. That's what you are. Emptiness masquerading as ephemera. Consciousness is a ruse. But this, you could say, clumsy elocution of what might look like freedom has no value to you. That's why it's, not often
There's no value
Pursued.
in the human framework of
Yeah.
whatever the current societal structure is.
That's why it's not often pursued or cultivated.
Well, it's something that can't be articulated in any way.
Well,
How could
you can
right?
articulate it. That's all that we're doing is articulating it. Yeah. See, be careful that it's, right, what's possible and what's not possible. I mean, yeah, you can't bring any definitive
Can't turn it into
body
lesson
of
plan.
metaphor
Yeah.
to turn the engine of ephemera into an object.
Okay, kids, now we
Yeah,
have a lesson plan.
you can't do that.
Well, you can't articulate what cessation is, right?
No.
So how could it be a thing to want?
Oh, good question. Don't know. Nirsagadata said that the longing for cessation or realization, call it what you will, springs forth from the semi or unconscious demonstration of deep sleep.
I know I love to sleep.
But, Nirsagadata, like everybody else, was a hack. Just throwing a bunch of ideas around, spiritual ideas and Sanskrit terminology and a lot of, demonstration to excite people. And so then you end up with generations of people that have read I Am That 6 times, cover to cover.
I have lesson planned.
Spoken from the man of experience.
Yeah. Then Nirsagadata gets created in the minds of the students or the devotees or the neo-Advaitists as, the bee's knees.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We turn everything into one or other form of celebrity.
Well, it's so weird too, because you're only focusing on it's a felt sense, Nirsagadata, obviously, but what gets carried over seems to be just the language and the wording, and it's an arbitrary. Right. It's like you don't see everyone walking around smoking as many beaties as possible and yelling at people just to see if they can inhabit.
That's right.
Whatever it was, they're only a very small, bizarre.
That's right.
Just read this book. You'd be better off smoking beaties and inhabiting some kind of bizarre energy and trying to channel Nirsagadata,
probably,
and yelling at people.
Probably better off,
just reading some kind of.
Well, consciousness is fond of co-opting itself. So it's capable of turning everything, the ephemera that's not made of anything, turning everything into an object. So experience becomes an object, and, the language body of work of a sage becomes an object. Your present experience becomes an object. Your longing for ascension is an object. The things that may frustrate you between here and then is an object. And so you're under the influence of the fundamental ruse of consciousness, thinking that this is about something, that you are actually corporeal, and that the duration of your life and the way that it's lived makes a difference. I mean, that's the loyalty that we have. That's the kind of loyalty that my health, my stuff, my reputation, people that like me, fuck the ones that don't, whatever. I mean, then you see, this kind of carried away narcissism on a grand scale, let's say during our presidential election cycle. This is all the surreal, politics of exploitation. And then we get all whipped up, just like how many people watched O.J. Simpson drive down the 405,
Well, they did those little studies during his thing, the Noetic Sciences or something, and they put some kind of there was an energy associated with the amount of people watching and focused on that trial that actually produced an energy.
Absolutely.
That was verifiable, whatever it is that they consider to be verifiable.
The TM people have been yapping about that shit forever.
Yeah.
Right? Full moon meditations, the crime rate goes down, floating off your cushion, spending a lot of money on transcendental meditation, going to the university in Iowa, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so we think, we do have magical powers. We can co-create with, the majesty of creation and make things better.
Well, you can, I don't know about better, but you can definitely mess with it.
readout.
You can have fun with it, you can play with it.
Why not?
I've been at Pebble Camp a lot and been there to witness some really cool stuff. Just palpable, holy shit. It's an interesting thing.
Everything is
when
like
you get
that.
with a group that's big enough and interested in playing, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. Hey, Marco Polo.
Everything is.
Everything, yeah. I mean, this experience is pretty dull. It's too warm in here, blah, blah, blah. But this is whoa, it's off the charts. Experiencing is off the charts. It's completely inebriating. We dull it down, or you could say it dulls itself down as the miracle of ephemera gets filtered through the lens of personality, of memory, of individuation.
An enlightened person can enjoy equally a great concert of the Beatles versus Styx. You know what I mean? They're going to have preferences or something.
Why not?
But it's like food. If you eat the same stuff all the time, you get tired.
If it's really good food, if you have
Some
champagne and
people-
caviar every day.
I don't know.
Everyone,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
people are adamant about eating the same thing every day.
what occurs in the miracle field of consciousness and its demonstration, what we refer to as my life experiencing, is it can do anything it wants. It can get bored and not get bored, and it can be realized and not realized, and it can, prefer to go. It could go to see Paul McCartney instead of going to see Justin Hayward.
Whip itself and
It can whip itself.
Adrenaline kind of
It can whip
can't
itself.
see
Yeah, but there's
insane.
endorphins with that, I'm sure, like there's probably more endorphins you get from that.
Everything goes down.
Always endorphins.
There's always
Yeah.
endorphins. Yeah. When there's no endorphins, the maggots are like,
Yeah.
I smell something.
Knocking on your door. Excuse
Literally.
me.
Over this way. No endorphins.
Why are the maggots circling?
Big
the porch?
lump of flesh. No endorphins. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get that
And
shit.
That's
I
true.
look at the endorphins sort of like a puppet. The brain has about 100 different endorphin systems. And then there is the pulling down of life, stress, wear, tear, all that.
Yeah.
And so, and there's sort of a miracle of all the endorphins time out.
hmm
And so that generates a certain kind of balance. And in certain cases, of course, people will somehow maneuver themselves into where they rely on only a very small number of endorphins. And then you're addicted.
I see. Right.
At least that's the kind of model I have in my brain
Yeah.
for that kind of stuff.
There's the
Right.
sexual endorphins, there's the musical endorphins, there's the spiritual endorphins, there's the,
Right.
There's even endorphins for abstract thinking.
sunshine
Really?
endorphins.
Otherwise, we wouldn't do
Abstract thinking. endorphins.
That's right. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it. That's right.
it. It's too far out.
That's right.
Maximize
Oh, just for the fun of it,
plug
Yes.
into.
How would you define consciousness?
Any way you want. You bring anything. I mean, this is what you could say mind does, right? Self-referential, loquacious mind, ruminating mind, creates metaphoric appraisals of actuality and then calls it a thing.
Mhm.
And then you're fucked because you're living under the influence of the virtuality of metaphoric appraisal. Whereas presence, or the notion of presence, is just this. Wow, just this. And you are not living under the influence. You're not being bullied by the reflex of metaphoric appraisal.
Bullied was a good word.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're bullied. That's right.
Well, we feel kind of bullied by consciousness as a disparate entity in some sense.
Yes.
If you're a disparate creature, it's very easy to feel kind of just bullied and attacked at every, it's because it's
Yep.
constant. It's always in your face. It's just coming at you. If that's how you are framing it, then
Yep.
it's like a constant barrage.
Mm-hmm.
That's not actually what's going on.
Yeah, it needn't be.
It doesn't have, you don't have to just feel like this is just pushing you around. That's not.
Yeah. Right. We always, reflexively, we're going in search of. You're taking your consciousness out for a ride because you are consciousness. You are the receiving plenum of experience, and it's a thrill. It's fun. It's just like, well, whoa, hey.
Like a 3D movie.
Yeah, you're just you're lit up. You're completely lit up. You're on the receiving end of this miraculous demonstration. So you have one has this kind of reflex or habit to take what you imagine is your consciousness out for a spin, and that's what we do. Let's say in spiritual pursuit, I'm taking my consciousness out for a spin. So I'll do Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. I'll do mindfulness. I'll do yoga. I'll do Bhastrika. I'll do Tantra, right? I'll do Peter Brown. I'll do, whatever the fuck Paul Herman talks about, and I still can't figure that shit out. So you see, you're taking yourself out for a spin. You love to take yourself out for a spin. And your Sagadatta, not to quote him too much, said, you love yourself. Face it, you love yourself. You're crazy about yourself.
Yep.
You're just crazy about being. You are so in love with being. And then we're tortured by all that appears to be unsavory in our experience. All the apprehension and anxiety and distractibility.
Is it a matter of just saying, okay, I'm anxious, I'm distractible, I'm bored, I'm whatever, and it's just like, okay.
Well, again, that can, if that response to unsavory, right, emotivity or unsavory experience appearing keeps you, let's say, relaxed, neutral, not indulgent, not engaged, non-reactive, then, that's what they will sell at Insight Meditation Society. Do Vipassana, do some more, do some more, do some more. And then you'll see how you can, return to equanimous neutrality rather than, you could say, getting embroiled in the fantasy of whatever fantasy you're turned on by. And that's what's sold there, right? That's what's sold. They're not selling liberation there. They can't sell liberation there because they're just too stupid. They're too stupid. They're too indulgent. They're too happy being Buddhists to really make any progress when it comes to liberation. So all they can really sell is the happiness quotient that accompanies, mindfulness practice.
Just how to improve your
Less
dream.
important.
That's right. How to improve your dream through mindfulness.
So what's being advocated here?
I don't know. I don't know.
And I get that it's not the how to improve your dream Sangha, that's for sure.
Right.
But what the hell it is, I can't tell.
Don't know. You don't know what is present or how what is present will reveal itself to you as you slowly discover or experiment with not being a product of it.
So you have a goalless night sky sangha?
Go less?
Yeah,
Yeah, no goals.
no goals.
Well, sure. There's no real competition between goallessness, which is this, and making an appointment to shine with goallessness. They're not really mutually exclusive.
It's a relief to
Well-
sit down and let's improve the dream.
It totally
I don't
is.
necessarily feel like I have a goal or anything.
Right.
I mean, I guess.
During your track record, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Unless you want to tell us all about the shit that you've accomplished so far in your life, we're all.
Yes, you did.
Oh, really? You accomplished some shit?
Sports group I could have been
That's for sure.
highly toxic.
That's for sure. It's you.
Never won any awards, I can tell you that.
Well,
We'll
you won
make
the
you one.
Biggest Loser award at Nice Guy Sangha.
We'll get you an award.
We'll get you a plaque.
We don't want you to die without having at least one award.
And that would be an honor in this group.
Never employed anybody.
When you are willing, capable, or invited to see that what you bring to the table is a fraud, something happens. Otherwise, you're going to stay in the loop of trying to tempt and satisfy the fraud of you.
Is the beginning of that just unmistakable recognition of the hypocrisy that shows up all the time? It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
like right in your face, like,
Right.
oh.
Oh, yeah. So bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not in jail.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
You don't have a pocket shut, so I stay out of trouble. All that is just hiding
No.
from it, It's just bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then trying to apologize for it. You're like, no, I think I'll skip that too.
You take yourself as experiencing or the experiencer of that which is experienced. You take it seriously enough, then you're under the influence of durability of self, continuity and durability of self. You got it going on. and you want to make sure there's some really nice shit in your clothes, you're fucked. But that's the default, that's the default nature of what we call conformist reality. Or it's not that common, even amongst dual circles, for aspirants to get a sniff of cessation. Without effort, without consequence, without strategy.
There's a sneaking suspicion that I'm totally free.
Yeah, could be the case.
Not a thing to resist, not a thing to worry about, just.
Yeah. Follow the thread of loyalty that, that one, what do we cling to, right? Some stuff, your house burns down, all your belongings are gone. You can't cling to that shit anymore. I mean, it can ruin your life or not, but, all externals are gone, right? So there's no clinging in the external world of things and belongings and appointments and, reputation or money. Just fuck it. Just strip it all away.
Just search for food.
Even that you could say, or let's say there's enough food so you don't have to make it a big issue, right? Like the dolphins, they play 23 hours a day. In 1 hour, they're like, they pick up some fish, right? The other 23, it's like, let's fuck around. Yeah, Bonnie, let's do it. Right? It's like, Mom, maybe it's time to get some fish. Okay, let's eat some fish. We'll make some bubbles and some circles. We'll herd them together. And then, yeah, let's play again. Okay. Hide and seek. It's a big ocean. So you have there's no loyalty to the things of the world. You and the world. There's no loyalty. You needn't have any loyalty there at all. Okay, so what remains of you? You're not suffering from the psychiatric and spiritual and emotional projection of all the ways that you're at risk. What remains of you? Where's your loyalty? What could be taken from you? Right. My suggestion is you're going to find what we might refer to as consciousness, right? The irrefutability of experiencing and identification with the irrefutability of experiencing. That you're like, don't mess with that, right?
Sort of peel away everything.
Yeah.
So that's like.
That's right. Peel away all the external hallucinations that you feel that you have to be loyal to or that you suffer from. It's strange.
Yeah.
It's just strange.
If you suspend the part of the brain that says, am I safe?
Right.
Then you love everything.
Could be. Sounds like MDMA to me.
You get more new endorphins.
Yeah, that's right. From that model, yes.
Yeah.
That's right. If that model is releasing the stress and strain patterns of individuation, then you might have, that kind of you're in love with everything because it turns out you might be everything. And so why not? And a new endorphin set can occur.
One of the definitions of love is the absence of fear.
Yeah, could be that.
What
Could
about
be
the
that.
facets of the diamond of enlightenment?
Yes.
How many are there?
As many as you can see, as many as you can steal. Yeah, it's never ending. Yeah. There's no, being infinite, right? Means it's non-finite. So
There's like the Cheeto facet of the diamond.
there's a Cheeto. That's right.
Supersession.
When you're nothing at all masquerading as ephemera, you don't tend not to ask quantifiable questions. Because you're just done. You're toast.
Kind of not,
Yeah. And that is the revelation of the
yeah.
Diamond Sutra.
Mhm.
Yeah. That is the revelation. Just this.
And you've got man.
Yay. Yeah. See what happens if you don't take consciousness out of the garage, fire up the Miata, and then, go run in search of more experience, then just drops out. It drops out. The vacuity that can be felt and seen through the mystique of objects and subject is revealed. The vacuity is revealed. Right here, right in the midst of subjects and objects and phenomena and space and time and the countless ways that experiencing demonstrates. This is the vacuity. This is the ceaseless and the formless, the nirvana and the cessation. Batman.
The visitation, I don't know.
Totally. And this feels different, at least in my crappy experience, as contrasted with how do I figure my shit out? Don't figure your shit out. That would be like, no, don't do that.
I challenge you to live as if there's nothing for you to
Yeah.
Well, it's like even, yeah, it just doesn't, if you're like the full spectrum is available and there's no issues with any of it. It just shows up how it shows up. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
From a
That's
human, socio-political, whatever.
Yep.
That's just whatever you want to imagine that to be. That's cool, which is fine also.
Yep.
But it's just like whatever.
Yeah, the world has nothing to do with you.
No.
And
you,
consciousness has nothing to do with you. Fuck consciousness.
but
That's what we're looking at this kind of corkscrew about where might you still possess some kind of loyalty, some kind of individuation, right? Some kind of pride or certainty having to do with the nature of present experience. Is there anything still lurking?
Plenty.
Okay.
Plenty of ownership still lives there.
Sure. I mean, it comes up, like with effortlessly. Yeah.
so effortlessly. Oh my God.
Ownership is, it's like, boom.
Well, all of it, endorphin, whatever, all of it. I
Yes.
mean, if this wants to launch you out of bed and for 3 days torment you, good luck.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, this will be over in about 3 days.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I
Let
wish
me
I could
know.
tell you. If it
I know,
did,
yeah.
Then
It would be good, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how long is this fucker going to last?
Yeah.
You can
This is a 6-month run. Oh, really?
Great.
It's not even Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And Mars is going to be around for a while, so just,
Yeah.
yeah.
How long is this going to run? Ooh,
Take some
you don't want to
marijuana
know.
and hunker down. What?
Some marijuana and hunker down.
Oh.
Yeah, really. Light up and hunker down.
Mars
Hunker
just
in your
flew into
bunker,
space,
yeah.
so just,
Bundle in the jungle. You don't do anything with your consciousness. You don't do anything about your consciousness. You just don't.
And you just like retreated back to that hindbrain and it kind of stops.
Well, that's the sensate yoga.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what Jean Klein was teaching. The sensate aspect of the Kashmiri system was, the recognition of Rigpa, presence, right? And the, gradual or sometimes rapid shift in, let's call it locus, so that the prana is relaxing from the agitation of the neocortex and resting in the hindbrain.
That's just like a little trick, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not
It can be practiced, you know, I mean,
Yeah,
it can be mastered.
Like time out, like if
Yeah.
you're driving your mother around and
Yeah,
she's really somatic or something, like
right.
it seems to help, but I don't think it has much beyond that. I mean, that,
Hard to know.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
how
it's
do
like you
want
have
it
to-
help. I mean, how do you know you don't want to just tell your mother to get the fuck out of the car and never talk to you again? You know?
That's a good one.
I just know I don't want to go to prison, that's all.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I don't mind
don't wanna
suffering
slit
so
her
much. I
throat,
just don't. I can't do prison right now.
They do tell you how long you're gonna be in there. sometimes,
Yeah, yeah, a long time.
consciousness, which
Right.
Oh, maybe we'll just turn into a happy lesbian and it'll be great.
Things are looking up.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
you'll fall in love.
I think they serve lattes in there, but yeah.
Could sneak one of those Nespresso machines in.
Will you
Mhm.
do that for me?
Yeah, I'll bring you some Nespresso. Those
When I
little
cook
containers.
my wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Bring an espresso machine in one of your cavities, right?
This girl is definitely
What do you get? That's what's going to convert her to lesbianism, of course.
Taking it out of her.
It's horrible. Stop.
I'm ramen in the black.
Stop. This is not okay. Turn that off.
Too late. It's out in the ether.
Cut.
Really.
Cut the sound.
We turn raunchy again, take it off the internet.
It's so sad to be this good.
Well, when you take,
That's true.
yeah, did we miss something? Sodomy? Some kind of scatological reference? Yeah, let's come back around then. If you, as you lighten up from the myth of continuity, right? The myth of self. Yeah, you can become a little more, what's the word? Ribald? How is that? Ribald.
My baldry.
Yeah, you can dance in ribaldry.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to say that. I think it's rival.
Yeah.
You know, you look smart.
I would say ribald.
Rival.
Yeah.
What does it mean? Body.
Body prurient,
Oh, I like it.
pertaining to sensual delight.
Sneaky Nespresso machines in prison for your friends.
You know, like a Yield, Canterbury Tales kind of,
Yeah.
you know.
Peter Rabbit, you know. Yeah, it's making sense now.
The call it the witnessing, which is even a little fuzzy. The witnessing of the demonstration of the irrefutability of experiencing is just this. But you see, it doesn't take you anywhere. It doesn't convey anything. It doesn't take you anywhere. If you're just hanging out, you could say, right at that curious non-point where the crystal isn't doing anything yet. Right? You're just kind of hanging out and the crystal isn't doing anything yet. It's just, yeah. And then on a dime, right, the crystal appears to projects, right? There's projection. Consciousness is really the word. Consciousness is really projection. The receiving, you could say the sensate felt reciprocity of projection. Objects appearing. Yeah. Bodily sensation. Subtle, ephemeral sensation. And then accompanied by, the story of mind, the story of the day, the story of one's sentiment and beliefs and superstitions. You see, so it projects, and now you're adrift. You're adrift in, a virtually created realm that stinks of self. So it's kind of interesting. It's challenging to, let's say, relinquish the momentum that one has for healing, for getting it right, for clearing closure, right? Messages from the ascended masters, right? It takes a while to release yourself from all of the promises that are made by all the snake oil salesmen and women that insist they have a message for you, right? If someone has a message for you, you can pretty much tell them to fuck off. I got a message for you. Well, fuck you. Like right now. You see, because then you're hooked, right? You're hooked again as an object, as a creature, someone that's suffering, someone that could perhaps benefit from, right, messages from the other side, from the nether world. Or going to, whatever guru you might go to, or whatever church you might go to, or whatever motor club you might go to.
Usually it's just like if you get a message, it's usually like, aha.
Is this a motor club?
It's like laughing.
Yeah, there's a motor club.
Okay.
Is it like truth by repetition?
Truth by repetition. Yeah, that's what happens. Truth by repetition of self. Yeah.
Truth by repetition.
It does seem that there, there's cosmic trickstery kind of messages sometimes,
Pretty much all the time.
Yeah, I mean, which would make it seem like then there is sort of a meaning, but I guess it's just part of the myth. Like it's
Yes, that's the crystal projecting,
yeah,
right? The crystal
Sort of,
projecting.
yeah,
Yeah, so then you are in receipt of some kind of pattern recognition,
yeah,
right? You're in receipt of some kind of sensorial relationship, even if it's subtle, nonverbal sensorial
It's
relationship
like the last
of that which is
hint.
which is appearing.
The hints sort of, I guess they get, like,
Yes,
there's like all this meaning, but then there's just like,
yeah,
being all worked up and then looking and seeing a sign that says hidden dream driveway or something, like those things happen.
very
It's
playful.
fun,
Absolutely, all the time. It's very playful.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more one is relaxed, again, not through effort or craving or, vows, the more one is relaxed and, in a sense, floating through the ephemera of the rhythm of your life, or the so-called choices that you make, or where you end up, or how you get there, as you're just kind of flowing through this dreamscape in a very relaxed manner, then everything is remarkably playful, animated, full of, animus, incredibly so. Everything is. And that's exhilarating. I mean, it's exhilarating. And you could say you become more subtle, right? It's like, yeah, wow, that's pretty fucking exhilarating. Everything is really talking like crazy. I'm not saying a word and everything is yabbering.
More endorphins.
Yes, so you could say from that model, it's another, endorphin matrix, another endorphin field of certain kind of sensitivity. Now this is shining with less, right? Less umbrage. Right, so it's shining in a different manner. Consciousness is shining in a different manner. And brain chemistry is, you tell me, is it the symptom of that or is it the cause of that, right? Don't know. So you begin to appreciate the nature of shining without objectifying. And that answers your question. That's how you discover that you never were.
It sure is
It becomes
always
very
here.
obvious quickly.
It becomes kind of obvious.
It's like the only dependable thing. It's the only thing that has any seeming continuity. It just seems it's always here. It's fun throughout the day to just sit and go.
Sure. What a gift. Mm-hmm.
It's like kind of irresistible. I do it a lot. Like,
Yeah. Yep. You just lean into the texture of being. Just lean in. It's like rest your head. Your so-called karma. Certain turbulence, right? Might untangle. You find yourself just untangled from turbulence of your own karmic proclivities, right? So in that way, the playful nature of creativity or creation, right, reveals other qualities of contact, conscious contact. You can't find yourself. You see that the movement of self and the agenda of self is truly a kind of an aberrant contrivance. Aberrant contrivance. There's nothing right or wrong with it, with one's life or the way someone conducts themselves. You get acquainted with what it feels like to be released from consequence, released from time, released from individuation, released from memory or personal history. You feel it, which has always been yourself. Now you're feeling yourself in a different way.
it's really feeling your experience in a different ways.
Yeah, that's right.
Like free of all of the self referencing around the experience.
Yes, that's right.
Which there's always a lot of self-referencing in what you're going to do next, or what you did that you screwed up. Or
That's the life coach.
before.
That's the life coach that insists that you hired her. She's absolutely certain that you hired her and you have no memory of it.
The price is way too high.
Excuse me, did I hire you? Yes, you did. I don't remember it. Well.
You shouldn't have said that thing 20 years ago, you know.
Yeah, right.
It's really dumb things.
Yeah, that's right. You made a deal with the devil and you just don't remember it. Yeah. You wonder why the Buddha went and tangled with everybody.
Well, didn't he try to go off into the woods by himself?
Yeah.
He better get out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
you're trying to hide. Good luck.
He was like, oh, this is too much fun. No one will understand this, and I certainly don't want to waste my fucking time trying to explain it. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, yeah, we'll just sit here and eat snails. This is nice. But, the suffering minions drew him in to give them, right, teachings, codified teachings. And that's what I think all the Buddhists conveniently forget. All they're doing is dabbling in the metabolic waste of the codified teachings that the Buddha naturally was happy to refuse. Right? So that's what they're doing, is messing around with the effluent, flotsam and jetsam. They forget that this is nothing at all. And you don't put mindfulness and retreats and meditation practice on a pedestal of some kind.
So it's like picking your poop out of the toilet and then taking it.
Kind of like that. That's right. She's possessed, folks. She's possessed. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Is it kind of like picking your poop out, Jesus? Is it kind of like that? Yes, it's like that. They forgot to write that part down.
They probably did. They just edited it later.
Yeah, that's
They edited it out.
Didn't make the
Yeah.
cut.
Oh, it's her. Oh, it's her again.
And what was the thing where they did
Did you just sort of lead Buddhism to poop? No, that's not going to work for us. Cut that out.
the first, or whatever you call it? Who was that guy?
That guy.
Constantine?
Oh, yeah. Right. You mean the guy that created the
Vatican I Or
religion?
something where they took all the gospels and got rid of all the women's gospels. And,
Yeah. That's right. Right. Turned it into a tool of repression.
Well, it was
Yeah.
too long. It was too long.
That was too long, yeah. And no one knew how to read anyway.
Yeah.
Here's a Bible. That's nice.
I'm married and I only read,
Yeah, really. Hey, wait a second.
And that's a lot of words
Right.
in those days because you had to hand copy everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, that was another cool movie. It was an apocalyptic movie, and that same actor that flew the plane.
Denzel?
It was Denzel. Yeah, it was Denzel. It was an apocalypse movie, and Denzel was blind, though he was gifted at defending himself and killing squirrels and stuff and eating. And
It was eating squirrels.
and he had
That's
memorized the Bible.
Is this the one?
Oh,
that
that's
was
the one where
filmed
he marches around through.
Yeah, marches around through apocalypse shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the one filmed in Philadelphia where the people kept passing
No,
on.
no,
some
he's in
sort
a
of demon.
desert-esque country.
No.
They shook hands.
No.
You ever see that one?
No.
What's that one called?
Demon shake your hand.
No, not
Annie,
that
get
one.
your
That's
gun.
called like Angel or something. The
Oh,
other
yeah.
one though. The one you-
I forget. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then a bunch of people were the cannibals, and you could tell that because their hands shook. So like if they wanted to know whether you were eating human flesh, you'd have to put out your hands, and if your hands shook, you were cannibal. If not, you were cool. That was a fun movie.
Simple as that.
He remembered the Bible.
Hiding my
Oh,
hands.
do
He
you
carried it around, I thought, for.
He did carry it around, and
Maybe that's thinking.
the evil guys stole it from him, hoping because they wanted to create
Yeah.
a culture. Because once they owned the book, they could create a culture just like the church did. They could redo that again, So they were like dying to get their hands on this Bible, and they finally do, and they finally crack it open, and it was in Braille. It was in Braille, so they couldn't use it. But Denzel had remembered the book in his head, so he finally got to safe space and recited it.
Yeah.
Recited it, and
Save the
they
world.
wrote it down. Yeah,
Save the world.
yeah. I was thinking, no, don't do that.
Yeah, don't tell
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah, don't tell anyone. Yeah,
Just say, no, I don't remember shit.
I don't remember a thing about it.
Can I use your bathroom?
Exactly. I know. Well, it was fun. It was the innate hunger for coordinates, right? To give experiencing the myth, the ruse of experiencing coordinates. So the Bible gives you coordinates, behavioral coordinates and historical coordinates and worship
Well, it gives
coordinates.
you control. Like in that setting, that was a mean to
Yes,
corral and otherwise
yes.
completely out of.
That's the
control.
I was pondering why, like when you brought out the disappearance of the universe when we were at the house.
Oh, yeah.
The reason that book is so unbelievably dog-eared and with all sorts of things in it was because it gave me a coordinate system that I liked at the time.
Yes, yes, yes,
And I was
yes,
quite
yes.
desperate for it.
Well, yeah, that's
I
right.
was thrilled. I was like, finally, I got a coordinate system that really works for me. I like this.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right.
It's
Yeah.
great until you find a coordinate you don't like, and you're like, oh my god, is this true?
Yeah. Well, see, this is
Take it lock, stock, and barrel, and little that I know this is crap.
when we look at the genesis of the loyalty to coordinate systems. In this case, not just, the Bible or the Pali Canon or whatever. We're looking at the coordinate system, the hunger for coordinate system that consciousness more or less demands of you.
Because we know where coordinate lives. We better
That's the
freaking find some clothes.
That's
We're
the-
sitting here naked
that's
Like teaching
when we
stories.
know it.
yeah. You see,
That's the nowhere to stand kind of.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, an infant, even raised without, let's say, language, will create miraculously all kinds of brilliant coordinates and coordinate systems to place themselves in the
like deaf-
context of the tribe.
Deaf kids, like, there's like American Sign Language or whatever, but then they make their own language.
Yeah,
You know?
They say
Yeah.
twins in a like twins
Yeah.
up to a
Right.
certain age will have their own kind of language.
Oh, yes.
A lot of
Right.
times.
yeah. So, I mean, this is incredible. I mean, what we're capable of doing through pattern and gesture and repetition is we can create languages and meaning and evoke and communicate meaning in miraculous ways, and you can't repress it. So you look at the engine, this incredible impersonal
Can't
engine
Stop it.
of consciousness insisting on
It's a
coordinates,
monster.
right?
And
Monster
copying
lives.
Yeah.
other faces,
Yes,
expressions.
yes,
that kind of stuff.
that's right. Those are included. I mean, all of
Yeah.
that, all of mimicry and imprinting is all included in the creation of coordinates for self.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as adults, not that any of us in this room are, we're kind of re-looking at the geometry and the genesis of this incredible impulse, appetite for coordinates, for placing yourself in a context, whether within the herd, socially, tribally, or, even ephemerally, etherically. You're still placing yourself even etherically. I mean, let's have all the channels in Bucks County get together and offer messages for a fee. That's an etheric, right, coordinate system. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at this profound, right,
Yeah.
habit reflex of inhabiting, creating,
Yes.
cultivating, fomenting coordinates, which suggests the illusory continuity of self, the illusory continuity of individuation. Wow. And when we see how profound it is, how deep it is, how reflexive and impulsive it is, you're like, whoa. But we also possess, you could say, call it a quality of meta intelligence, which is unperturbed by the movement of coordinate seeking and coordinate investment, and can see itself doing it. So what is it about your, call it higher or innate intelligence, that can actually review how your own consciousness is functioning?
Well, there is more from a biological point of view, but
Mhm.
there was a book written called The Evolution of Consciousness and Destruction of the Bicameral Mind.
Yeah, the destruction of the bicameral
You know
mind.
how the
Right, what
and
fun.
supposedly it didn't happen that long ago that the mind started to observe itself.
Yeah, sure, right. Yes, I mean, it's a very difficult anthropological treatise to defend, but yeah, at least that research suggests. I mean, how, I mean, if early hominids, even Neanderthal or whatever, were making tools or creating circles and worshiping shit and then,
You mean like this sort of awareness that you're like obsessing or something? Like that kind
it's the genesis of self-awareness.
self-awareness?
Yeah.
That you're talking to yourself
Yeah.
about yourself.
Yeah, talking to yourself about yourself. That's right.
I think they use
The life coach.
they use and they have a slightly different definition of consciousness.
Sure.
For them, it's self-awareness.
You're right.
I think that's
Right.
closer to that.
Self-awareness. Yes.
So they think it's created via mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that from that point of view, you're looking at the genesis of, right, the biological system
Yeah.
and the maturation or capacity of a neocortex to replace
Right.
older systems and then foment,
It's
right, self-awareness.
It's so funny. That,
Right.
Like who was it? Like the Far Side or somebody used to do
Yeah.
like cartoons and they
Well,
put like cavemen.
I always enjoy that.
Right. Yeah, those are always funny.
They're fun, yeah.
Yeah.
You just think of so many scenarios where you could like,
Right.
integrate them.
Well, the thrill and the let's say the far side or short-sightedness of a system that follows, let's say, a biological trajectory, right? Continues to invest in and then sell the notion that present experience and the nature of it is consequential. Thus, it's right.
Well,
It's now at this point of an arc that began, right?
yeah, but I don't know whether they can define or substantiate the concept of meaning.
No.
No. So,
Yeah, I mean, it becomes like any languaging and abstract thinking becomes self-fulfilling or self-loquacious. Yeah, because try leaving the system.
Mhm.
Go ahead, leave the system. Well, where's the stairway?
Yeah. Where's the portal?
Where's the portal? Show me the portal. I'll jump in. You can't leave the system, but there is no system, so there's nothing to leave. Because when we talking about what appears
you
to
can
be,
blame it. You can blame it.
yeah, that's right. You can certainly blame it. By coming up as creatively as we're capable of coming up with symptoms and outcomes and causalities and genesises or genocide, multiple genesises, has to be genocide. Genocide in the headlights. So, right, we're enjoying, we'll call it the, neuropathic delight of, call it abstract thinking, right? Stitching wondrous sensations together through language and mind to suggest a world that's made of stuff, that's consequential.
You know,
And wow, wild. We get into trouble, we could say behaviorally, we get into trouble when that remarkable capacity for imagination, when we start believing it. Yeah, when we
You
start.
think you can fly and you jump off a
Well,
tall building.
well, I mean, that's that's an extreme case. I'm just talking about living the humdrummedy of your crappy life. You're believing in, right, the remarkable powers that you possess to conjure an arc of a world that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and is consequential, and therefore you are the product of something other than yourself, and that came before you, and now you're fucked. Which means you might go to a high building and try to fly, just for the fun of it.
Because you believe it can be done.
That's why not. That's right. I mean, it's.
But you can have there are philosophies that are circular. There is no beginning,
They all are.
but you still have the same problem.
Yeah, you still have the same problem. That's right. Yep. Yep. That's the seeker's dilemma. The seeker's dilemma is remaining on the hamster wheel or the arc of apparent phenomena, apparent experiencing, individuated. So the seeker remains in that dipole, that so-called duality, for the long run, until one starts to begin to witness the irrational nature of presence without consequence. That's how you slip out from under the influence of dreaming, the force of dreaming. Since this isn't anything, not made of anything, does not obey relativity and what relativity implies, then your present experience is what this is. Not individuated, not small, not consequential, not in any kind of a container. And if we're lucky enough to sense what is being referred to, that's the end of wanting.
When you go kaput, there's nobody here to want.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Nibbana and cessation. It's the cleansing of identification. This is how or when realization is firsthand. You're not relying on someone other than yourself to feel this. There's nothing that's true. There's nothing that's false. Yeah, this is. How are we doing on time? Any questions?
I just thought you might want to know Biggie's blood work came back just fine, but he needs better readings on his EKG so he can't get his teeth taken care
Oh, all right.
What's wrong with his teeth?
of. He's got a broken off tooth.
Don't do anything about it.
Really?
Fred has. I know this is not really our conversation, and we'll talk later.
My dental status for my teeth. It's like, I thought it was a book.
Fred has
Just free him out of the
kin
cage?
with broken teeth, a lot of them, and he's had them since I've had him, and he's fine. And they tried to convince me to rip out all his teeth, $1,000 each tooth,
Wow.
and
Really?
it's not cool. Those teeth are
No way up
they're
there.
way up there. It's not cool for them.
Feel free to call in with your dental situation and
No, I
we'll be
don't
happy
know.
to deal with it.
I just feel like just leave